friends, Miss Jennifer here for Darlington Arts Center, and today I'm going to give you a preview for our upcoming winter 2022 class, Imagination Afternoon, which meets on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. The first class is on February 2nd. Today in our preview, I'm going to show you how to make paper puffy stars. These are made out of recycled paper. You can see it's the same paper you would get from a grocery store paper bag. If you don't have extra or any grocery store paper bags laying around, you can use packing paper, you can use any large scale paper, but you are going to want something that's at least 12 by 18 or larger to really be able to get the puffy quality that this has. You're also going to need some kind of glue for your embellishments. I really like this Aleene's tacky glue because it holds on to some heavier or more absorbent or textile type embellishments. I love that. I'm also going to use, for my paint, I'm using King Art brand tempera sticks. You can also use the Quick Sticks brand of tempera sticks. You could use regular tempera paint or markers or oil pastels. But I really like this paint. It's no mess. It dries super quickly and glides on nice and smooth and easy. It's really a lovely paint. There's also a Crayola version that I want to say is called Slick Sticks. So that could be another option as well. You're going to need scissors and a marker or a pencil. You're going to need a hole punch and a stapler. And then you're going to need some kind of ribbon or yarn. I really love to use sari ribbon, which is made from reclaimed saris or else factory cuttings of saris. And then optional embellishments, you might want to use some pom-poms or some plastic gems or sequins or glitter glue. And I made ahead of time some little felt tassels that I'm going to hang on the bottom of my puffy star, just because I really like that tassel-y look. And you can also see that I did pre-draw my star. And what I did is I drew my smaller star first because I found that easier to make that kind of the accurate shape I wanted. But then I gradually enlarged it by tracing around it a little bit bigger at a time and giving it that softer kind of puffy shape that these have. And I put a T at the top, on the front, and on the opposite side where I want my stars to line up. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to hold it together. You really want to try and get these cut as close as possible so that when you go to staple them later, they're going to be nicely lined up. So I'm going to make sure that I am adjusting my hold and keeping things even and as flat as possible. That can be difficult when you're cutting two papers at once. Just do your best. Mom and Dad might need to help with this step. That's okay. So we're going to continue cutting all around. Again, adjusting our hold and making sure we keep the paper as smooth and lined up as possible so that when we're all done, our star lines up smoothly. Especially when you go around the corners, it's a good time to double check and make sure everything is all lined up so that you don't have to recut it out or trim anything away later. So it looks like we got that all cut out, and it looks like it's pretty awesome. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna put my scissors aside, and I'm gonna get my scraps out of my workspace. I like to have a clean workspace when I'm working. And now this part that I traced on, that's the wrong side. So you can see that I actually have two nice unprinted sides that I can paint on, and where I marked my T is where I'm going to lay my two sides together so they match up nicely there as well. I'm going to go ahead and flip them over and get my paint sticks out. And I like to really just sort of freestyle scribble with these paint sticks. I'm done with my temper sticks. I'm going to put them aside, and I'm going to staple these together. And luckily, I put those two T's where my stars need to match up, so it's going to be super easy for me to quickly do that. And I'm going to staple them together approximately 2 fingers apart. I like to leave like a V shape open. So you can see, there's my open V shape. And I want to get into my points that are furthest away from my open V first. And here's some packing paper. Oh, you could use newspaper. This packing paper is perforated, so it's pretty easy to tear on those perforations. If not, you could always cut it with scissors. And let's start with that. What I'm going to do is crumple it up and form it into a rough point or V shape, and go to my furthest away point and stuff that right into there. Now it's time for our embellishments. Our embellishments really the sky could be the limit with this. I have this cut out piece of lace that I dyed, so I'm going to glue that on up at the top. I'm going to use my Aleene's Tacky Glue. It works really well when you're working with materials that are different thicknesses or weights. I didn't go quite up to the top because I have to make a hole there to hang this from. So I'm going to get my hole punch, punch my hole, and I'm going to cut a nice length of that. Then I'm going to double it. Push the doubled up end through the hole so I have a loop. Then I'm going to grab the two loose ends or the tail through the loop and pull it. So now I have a hanger with two loose ends. I'm going to bring those together, wrap them over my fingers, pull them through that loop and knot it. Overhand knot. Now I have a hanging loop. So I'm going to conclude with these two tassels that I already made, hanging down from the bottom points. And there we have it. A painted puffy star made from recycled paper with tassels and other fun embellishments. I hope you enjoyed this preview of the types of fun upcycled mixed media projects we will be working on in Imagination Afternoon. I've had some really incredible, enthusiastic artists to join me in that class, and I hope to see you there. Thanks, friends. Bye.